Well, I'm sitting on my new sofa. It's called April, and it's part of a suite of furniture, and it's there's an interesting background to it, I think, which is that I've not done a great deal of furniture in my working life, but in the past few years I've been asked to do some pieces, and the first piece was from a firm who really make their business selling modern furniture. Ipso facto, it's much more architectural, you know, like slabs and nice geometry and so on, good looking, but not principally to do with comfort. And that's my obsession, and as you get older you get more and more obsessed with that. So my first chair was for a firm called Hitchmelius, and it is distinctively and overtly comfortable, but of course it sits quite awkwardly in the whole spectrum of modern furniture, and so when client number 2 comes along, which is a firm called Modus, and asked me to design a sofa, I said, well, I'd love to do it, but you do understand that I'm going to be really persistent with regard to comfort, which means that it's going to be a bit higher, not a lot higher, but a bit higher, and a little bit shorter in the seat than typically modern sofas are. Happily for me, they've said yes, and even more happily, it's turned out like this, which I think is stylish enough, and it looks like being a success. So I'm thrilled to bits with this. This is called April. We're sitting in a rather ancient building, but full of modern things, and it's a peculiarly English phenomena, I think, that we like that mixture, and so we're here particularly because we've launched at Anglepoise, using one of my designs, we've launched a partnership with Paul Smith. Now Paul's an old friend, he's also a Sir, so these two old Sirs together have come together in a new product. And you know, Paul Smith's very skilled and very famous, I would say, and particularly in foreign markets, for his very sort of vivacious but appropriate and appropriately stylish use of colour. So I think he wouldn't describe himself as a fashionista, as a sort of high style designer, but he's got a very, very good eye for the use of colour in intelligent products. So his suits are intelligent, his garments are intelligent, but they always have a lovely freshness about them, which is all to do with colour. So in this new lamp of ours, the form is mine, and the decoration, the coloration is his. It's a very nice partnership. I'm thrilled to bits with it. The question of style and changing styles over the years is, you know, a constant discussion, but there's a few undeniable importances in the design of anything in my book, and they are to do with its decent function. Some products are very, very conspicuous in the need for the functional element, like cutlery, for example. I mean, if cutlery is not comfortable to hold, it is worthless in my view. On the other hand, if it's elegant and still a pleasure to hold, it's the best of both worlds. So they're unchanging demands, no matter how old the product is. And you could look at some products of mine and a lot of other designers more eminent than I, whose products have stood the test of time and will still stand the same test in 20, 50 years from now, because they are stylish, appropriately stylish, and not so conspicuous that they are made to look foolish according to the fashion of the time, but that style is appropriate, but the most important thing is that they are useful, and people buy them for the use with a style that seems an inevitable association with them. Well, a lot of things make your chest puff up, but I think the train is probably I think the train will last me out. So that's not a bad thing to be proud of. I know Thomas, and I think the bus is really ideal for the job. It's a very particular design. It's got a very particular character, which these things need. The great thing is that it remains red, and so it's a London bus, and without any need for it to be more peculiarly different than buses are suitable for. And in the same way that when I did the taxi, we changed it quite a lot if you look carefully, but it's still recognisable as a London taxi. So the bus is pretty important in the iconography of our world, and I think he's done a brilliant job. Excellent.